So one of our viewer writes, Christopher, how can I take responsibility for my unconscious bias? Wow, what a great intention. What a great thing to confront. Thank you. First, what is this person talking about, unconscious bias? Well, I don't know about you, but I've known for years, decades, intellectually, morally, ethically, humanly wrong for me to have racial bias, religious bias, gender bias, etc. On the other hand, I've also known, since I've been an observer of myself for decades, I've also known that my reactions in split-second behaviors demonstrate that I'm full of bias. Right? So on the one hand, if you were to ask me, are you biased? Right? Like so many people, I would really want to say, no, I'm not biased. Not me. No. On the other hand, I've learned to acknowledge what's true. I've learned to acknowledge reality. If I don't acknowledge reality, I can't deal with it. So today, if you ask me if I'm biased, I say, well, unfortunately, I am. Yeah, I absolutely am. And you can test this for yourself. There are unconscious bias tests that you can do online. And what happens is they give you a split second to make a reaction. And what they're measuring is stuff that you can't control. You'll learn a lot by yourself from one of those tests, right? We all have inherent bias. Why? For instance, let's talk about religion, right? So I grew up in a religion that gave me lots and lots and lots of messages about being tolerant and being open to others and all that, but at the same time they were telling me, we're right and they're wrong. Yeah, our religion is the right one, right? If we really like theirs, we'd go be in theirs instead of ours. Right? So I got lots and lots of mixed messages and found myself in right wrongness and judgment about people from other religions. It actually takes a lot of work for you to get past tolerating other people of other faiths and religions and actually get to total allowance that their religion is just as darn good as yours is. And that's a big step. You can apply the same thing to gender, race, nationality, and other things. Now, how do you do that work? Well, the way you do that work is by installing a game, the Catch Sooner game. Right? You can read about the Catch Sooner game in chapter 5 of my book, the Responsibility Process book. And the Catch Sooner game essentially says that you can change any habit or behavior that you want to change. And the way you do it is that you catch yourself engaging in it. And at that moment, you stop and you examine your choice and you make a new conscious choice and you forgive yourself for the old habit. You forgive yourself for being human. You forgive yourself for having deep ruts. You forgive yourself for continuing a habit or a belief that you spent years and years and years and years honing. And forgive yourself for not being able to change overnight. And then the fourth step is to vow to catch yourself sooner or earlier next time. So over dozens, hundreds of repeated circumstances of you catching yourself having a negative thought, a thought of fear, a thought of revulsion or repulsion, or a thought of tolerating or resenting somebody for who they are, just keep examining, where does that come from? Where did that come from? And do I want to hold on to that? And do I want to change my thought right now instead of holding on to that thought? That's how we deal with our unconscious biases. At least that's one way that responsibility teaches me to do it. There are certainly other ways too, but that's one way to get started. So here's something that you can do today. You probably have already thought of one of your biases that you're not proud of. You know that you have a negative reaction when you see somebody of a certain race or hear a certain language or a certain religion or see somebody driving a certain kind of car, or living in a certain neighborhood, or something else. You know that you have a reaction to that. So here's what you can do. Install a game in your head, a catch sooner game. And remember, just catch yourself having that reaction. Stop and change the reaction to a much more accepting, allowing, positive, abundant thought. Forgive yourself for being human, having an unconscious that does so much to support you in so many ways. Right? And then vow to catch yourself sooner next time. And remember, we're always here for you at the Responsibility Company, whether it's through our DIY stuff like this video series or through our premium programs. I work for you. Send all your questions to hello@responsibility.com. I look forward to hearing from you.